I still remember the day vividly. It was in class 2 and the class teacher had announced a poetry recitation contest within the class. There were going to be 3 prizes and everybody in the class was excited. I was for certain going to make it this time, I told myself. Went back home, chose the best poem by Wordsworth, tried to practice it before the mirror, at home, in front of my parents. I believed that this time I was going to win the first prize. The day of the contest arrived. I went, I was called on stage, and I stood before my classmates. For the first time, as I was about to utter my first lines, my very classmates seemed like aliens. I suddenly went blank. A word wouldn't come off my mouth. After a few seconds, I recollected my lines. And this time around, I rushed through my poem like a speeding train. And the poem that was supposed to be for 2 minutes got over in less than a minute. I remember rushing back to my bench and taking my seat. Now, as expected, I didn't win a place in the poetry contest. Times passed, contests passed, and I made sure that I would never go back on that stage again. Now, how many of you can relate to this story? I'm sure many who are watching this video may have encountered a similar experience, where you go on stage, try to deliver, go blank, and then avoid it forever. I just did the same thing. For 15 long years, I avoided going on stage. There were numerous contests, debates, inter-school competitions, and at any given opportunity, I either gave an excuse or kind of found a way not to be a part of it. However, in 2006, about 15 to 16 years later, while I was in my second year engineering, a small incident changed my life. A day after a tutorial in design, a tuition mate told me that he's headed to a Toastmaster meeting and that he's going to go there and deliver a speech. And that set me thinking as to why can't I do this? It brought back all the fears, but one fine day, a month later, I walked into a room filled with speakers and sat in a corner. And as I sat there, the sense of jitteriness, the fear, the anxiety, everything came back. And I just felt like rushing out of the room. But this time around, I had no escape. I sat there and I hoped that no one would notice me, but luck wasn't on my side. When the table topic master, the impromptu speaking master, stood up and said, "The boy there, can you speak for a minute?" and he offered me a topic. I stood up. Again in front of me, I felt there were aliens. My mind turned blank. But this time, I mustered my courage. I stood up and I uttered a few lines. That gave me the line of confidence. And I spoke, and I spoke, and I spoke for that entire 1 minute. I probably to this day don't know what I spoke. But what I remember is at the end of that 1 minute, what I could hear was, and it was the applause of a half-filled room, which in many ways changed my life forever. It was the applause of a half-filled room that for the first time made me believe that I could speak. It was the applause of a half-filled room that made me realize that I wasn't a failure after all. And it was the applause of a half-filled room that made me the coach that I am today. To everyone watching this video and who resonates with this experience, the only difference between me and you is that I gave myself a second chance. And all that you need to do is to give yourself that second chance. And if possible, with the guidance of a coach. And trust me, that particular day will mark the beginning of your new journey of self-transformation and self-discovery. give yourself that second chance. I hope this story and this perspective helps.